your Community Connection Corner here on your Catholic station, Real Life Radio 1380 and 94.9 FM. I'm Jennifer Longworth, joined today by Ashley Gann of Sweet Blessings. Welcome back.
Thank you.
And we talked a lot in the first segment about the story behind Sweet Blessings, but for folks who may have missed your essence of who Sweet Blessings is, go ahead and tell us about you.
We are a nonprofit ministry, and what we do is create unforgettable birthday cakes for children who are living in poverty or with a life-threatening illness, all to help them feel special and loved on their special day. And really why we do that is because Christ first loved us.
Absolutely. And your story is just one that obviously God was working on you throughout the entire process.
Absolutely.
Just, slowly, you didn't wake up one day and go, oh, I'm supposed to make kids cakes. It wasn't that obvious, and just kind of slowly worked in. And now you have a big team of volunteers that helps us. So kind of want to let people know how they can get involved with Sweet Blessings.
Absolutely. There are, as you know, any nonprofit, there's a lot of things that need to be done. If somebody's interested in baking and decorating, we work in Frankfort on Mondays. At First Christian Church, we partner with them to utilize their kitchen, and usually start around 9 a.m. and go from there. And then we also work in Lexington every Tuesday at Maxwell Street Presbyterian. And during the school year, I'm usually there 8:30 to 8:30.
Wow.
But, if somebody wants to just kind of touch base and make sure we're going to be there or what's going on, or maybe not really sure where they would fit with our needs and what they would, their skills and their interests, all they need to do is send me just a quick email. It's Ashley, Ashley, the normal way, at sweetblessingscakes.org, and then we can go from there.
So you said 8:30 to 8:30. Is that because the demand is higher during the school year?
The demand is a little bit higher during the school year, simply because we work on referral basis from churches, schools, and social service providers. So our school-based referrals go down during the summer. And then, also, if you're a service provider and you're on vacation, they're not making referrals, that kind of thing. But this summer we've had higher referrals than we did last summer, and we hope to keep growing. We have grown exponentially. Our first cake was February 26th of 2011, and that year we served 163 children.
Okay.
The next year we served 611.
Whoa.
And in 2013 we served 959 children.
Yeah, that's a
That's a little bit of growth.
and that's why Ashley can't do it all by herself anymore.
Exactly.
So with baking cakes, it's a mix. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pretty foolproof.
It is hard to ruin a box cake mix. And I'll tell you a quick story. We did have a first-time volunteer come in, and she was doing our baking that day. And he was like, okay, we use this great big huge mixer. You're going to need 4 dozen eggs. And I had bought them in 18 packs. And so accidentally she put in 4 18 packs. Guess what? It was fine. No problem. There's really only one thing you could ever do in that kitchen that we can't fix.
When was that?
And it's using a very sharp tool on a very specific mat that we use to roll out fondant. And if you cut it, you can't fix it. Other than that, whatever you do, we'll deal with it. We'll fix it. It doesn't matter.
Now, in cutting fondant, do you use cookie cutters, or is it like freestyle? Or, how does this...
Okay.
Because I'm just, if I got in there, it might be freak out, like, what am I supposed to do with this?
Okay, there's a big secret. We cheat as much as possible.
They cheat.
We cheat. I think we need to make our cakes as easy as we can. They need to look great, but they don't need to be too hard to make.
Right.
We have all sorts of different cookie cutters. We even have this tool. It's one of my favorites. It's called a ribbon cutter, right? And so you can make a perfect, like 1 inch, 1 1/4, whatever thickness you want, long ribbon of fondant, and you don't even have to be able to cut a straight line. It does it for you.
Nice.
Yeah. So, having the right tools and the right supplies, a good professional grade fondant makes all the difference. And anybody who's ever tried to make those kinds of cakes at home knows how expensive it can be just to get the right basics. Come on in. If you want to learn, that's the perfect place to do it. Because we have all the tools, we have all the supplies. You can come in, you can play cake, you can learn from other people, and then it gets to go to a kid.
Yeah. And you've heard testimonies from kids and stories, and you told one on Diocese Live that about made me cry, about the child at school.
Oh,
do you remember which one I'm talking about?
I do.
Can you recount that?
Absolutely. And I will tell you, I sit across the table from so many adults with tears in their eyes because either they know a child that this would just have a huge impact on, or they were that child growing up.
Yeah.
But the story you're talking about actually was we got a referral in, and again, we don't meet the kids.
Right.
So this was like the next week after we made this cake, and it was from his teacher, his kindergarten teacher. And she was just like, thank you so much. This little boy had been coming into school every day that week in tears because his birthday over the weekend, they weren't able to celebrate it. Actually, the quote was, he got no cake. So there wasn't any celebration of his birthday, and he was so upset that every day at school he was crying.
Oh, my goodness.
So then they made the referral to us. We made him, I believe it was a 3-tiered. I mean, so we're talking huge Batman cake. Nice. And he got to have it in the classroom and share it with his class. And the teacher said, I mean, it was just like the most exciting thing. He had a smile from ear to ear. And when these children get these cakes, it comes all boxed up with a ribbon. And it also gets a handwritten birthday card, just a little postcard with our logo on the front and our signature Bible verse on the back. 1 John 3:1. How great is the love the Father has lavished on us that we should be called the children of God. And this teacher said that this little boy was holding on to that card like it was his most precious possession. And she kept telling him to put it away in his folder, but he kept getting it back out. And that it just meant so much to him. And, when you think about it, that little boy is holding God's word close to his heart. And that's why we do it. Yeah. It is all, Sweet Blessings is not about the cake. We're not. We make lots of them, but that's not what we're about. We're about reaching out to these kids and making sure they feel special and loved, particularly that they feel the love of Christ.
And on your T-shirts and stuff and online is God Kids Cake.
Oh yeah, that's our for our 5K, the Great Cake Race that we do every year. It says love God, love kids, love cake.
Yes.
So
that's
absolutely.
So sweet. So your heart's in the right place, and the volunteers who coming in, that's just powerful. I mean, just when you hear stories like that and going, I made a difference. Oh, yeah. I mean, this might have changed this child's life, like literally changed his life. Going, you know what? Someone cared about me enough to do this birthday cake just once at school, and he'll be telling everyone for the rest of his life. He'll be passing it down to his children,
Absolutely. We hear so many stories about how just this one cake, this one very special just for you birthday cake has meant so much to children. And we have had some schools that have decided that a child will get the cake in the classroom simply because they have difficulty making friends or because they're bullied. I had one story of this one girl that the day after she got her cake, this girl had been bullied for 6 years. The day after, children had gone home and made her birthday cards and brought them to her. They went home and found something and brought it to her as a birthday present. And that next day, when they had the big announcements at school and somebody was supposed to talk about her birthday, the child who was doing the announcements refused to announce her birthday. The biggest bully in her class, who had been there for the cake, took up for her.
Wow.
And it just totally changed everything for her. And it was great because she was a 5th grader. And the next year, of course, she was going to middle school.
Oh, tough times.
Very tough times. So we kind of were a catalyst. It wasn't all about the cake. We were helped to be a catalyst for changing how her peers saw her before they went into this larger group. And then the social worker saw her the next year after she was a 6th grader, and she said, I love middle school. This is great.
Oh, wow.
And so it really, was part of being able to change this perception of her and how people treated her, and most importantly, how she saw herself. Because the year before, she thought she wasn't worthy of having friends. And now that everybody changed how they saw her, she saw herself as being worthy.
It changes the whole perspective.
It really does.
I mean, just not even for the kid, for the whole class in this case.
It did. But, God can take a little bit of cake and a whole lot of love and make a huge difference.
A little bit of cake and a whole lot of love. Is that what you said?
Absolutely.
That's amazing. Ashley, you're just doing this incredible work. You really are. Because you're changing the lives of kids. You're changing the lives of their class. You're changing the lives of your volunteers. And I presume the social workers and the churches and everyone who comes in contact with you, just from a little, hey, I think I should make a cake. What's up with that?
Because it's all because of God.
Oh, yeah.
It's all because of God. I never would have done this. it wasn't where I was headed. It wasn't what I thought I was going to do. It wasn't. But God was like, yeah, no, Ashley, you're just crazy enough to do this. So.
So what age of children do you serve?
We recently expanded the age range of children that we serve. We will readily take referrals for children ages 4 through 17.
Okay.
When we first started, we limited that older age range basically because we were a brand new organization. We had to be able to manage and to figure it all out. But, most people accept Christ before they turn 18. Mm-hmm. So that's our mission, is to reach them, and we need to serve them all the way up through age 17.
Fantastic. Now, if someone knows of a child who could benefit from this ministry, what do they need to do to plug them in?
What they need to do is they can contact me. Mm-hmm. It's Ashley at sweetblessingscakes.org. But remember, we only take referrals from churches, schools, and some sort of social service provider. We define social service provider very broadly, but it can't be like a neighbor or a mom or an aunt or somebody contacting me. It has to come through one of those 3 types of sources. So if you like your child and you would want your child to benefit, reach out to one of those people in your life, either a school social worker or maybe your local church, and let them know and ask them to contact me.
Are the cakes a surprise for the kids?
We actually leave that up to the service provider. Okay. We recommend that they're a surprise because you never know. I mean, we've had, in 3.5 years, we've had one drop during delivery. Yeah, I know, that's sad. But, we've also had some that, were lost in cyberspace. They sent them to me, and I didn't get them for 2 weeks. Oh. Somebody's firewall held it up. So we don't want any disappointed kids. Right. However, we know some social workers that they use talking to their kid about their birthday as a bonding time.
Right.
Sometimes we know some people who go and look at our website with the kid. Oh, and this is their opportunity to bond. And so we really leave that up to them. We make the recommendation the child not know. But if there isn't a problem and there is an upset child, they're the one dealing with it. So we let them do what they think is best in the situation. Same thing with, does the cake go home or does the cake happen at school? Mm-hmm. They know the child, they know the culture, they know their organizational culture. Mm-hmm. Whatever works best works for us.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for joining me, Ashley. Ashley Gann of Sweet Blessings. And before I let you go again, what's the best way for people to find you?
Best way to find us, they can go to our website, sweetblessingscakes.org. My email is ashley at sweetblessingscakes.org. And if they just want to see some of our work, they can always like Sweet Blessings on Facebook. We post pictures every week.
Every week, almost every day sometimes.
Yes. So. All sorts of new fun stuff.
Thank you so much, and we look forward to having you back on Diocese Live and learning more.
Thanks, Jennifer.
This has been your Community Connection Corner here on your Catholic station, Real Life Radio 1380 and 94.9 FM WMJR.